The NBA season has less than 2 weeks left, and the Lakers wrapped up a 5-game homestand with their last meeting with the Mavs. They knew San Antonio got smoked in Salt Lake City, but also that New Orleans knocked off the Knicks. So another must-win as the regular season dwindles down to those remaining few games. Andrew Bynum, it was announced, will not play during the regular season in the now 6 remaining games after tonight, although he will go on the next road trip with the team. And Pau Gasol is back for his second game. He had 10 in the first quarter. Nice feed from Odom. Game tied at 31 in the second quarter. Also in his second game back for the Mavs, Dirk Nowitzki went off. Dirk had 27 points to lead them. They led by as many as 14 in the first half. Now to the fourth quarter, Jason Kidd with a great assist to Jason Terry. Mavs led 91-83, and then the comeback. Odom in the lane with a floater, had a season-best 31 points, also had 11 rebounds. Jack Nicholson liked that, and then he also had 5 assists. Gasol puts it home. He had 25. Lakers take their first lead since early on, 108-106. And you know Kobe's going to get involved. Nowitzki with the turnover. Kobe turns on the speed. The rest of it was all free throws. Mark Cuban doesn't like it. But his team has now lost 3 out of 4 in the season series to the Lakers, who clinch a playoff spot. They've only missed 5 times a postseason in their 60-year history. Their next 3 are on the road, concluding with that game down the hallway with the Clippers on Thursday, which will be in Staples Center, of course. So it's kind of like a home game where our John Ireland is tonight. And John, for a long time tonight, it looked like the Mavs were going to come in and do what they had to do, but the Lakers own the fourth quarter.
Gary, this series between the Lakers and the Mavericks is as even of a series between 2 teams of any 2 in the NBA. The players, most of them, are still in the shower. Phil Jackson just popped out to talk to us, and one of the questions we asked Phil was about Lamar Odom. You talked about his breakthrough game with those 31 points. Personally, I think this was the best game Lamar Odom has played as a Laker, and Phil Jackson didn't disagree.
He had a remarkable game, 12 for 14. I remember missing one shot, jumper, but he was at the basket. He played defense. He did a lot of things for the team tonight. It was a tough cover for Nowitzki coming back from that ankle injury, and we exploited it.
I talked about the matchup between the Mavericks and the Lakers. Get this. Over the last 14 games, the Lakers have won 8, the Mavs have won 6. 8 of those games have been decided by 5 points or less. If these 2 teams meet in the playoffs, it will be a coin flip as to who will be favored. It is that close. I asked Phil Jackson, why is it that these teams are so evenly matched?
It's a team that stays in games, and they have people that can make shots to keep them in games and win games at the end.
That, put simply, is why Dallas is so even with the Lakers. But, Gary, you mentioned it. The Lakers have now beat them 3 times in a row after losing the first game of the 4-game series during the regular season. So the Lakers not only have a big lead on Dallas, they've got the tiebreaker, and the Lakers still in the running after San Antonio lost tonight to get the best record in the West. I'm John Ireland at Staples Center. Back to you for now.
John, we showed Andrew Bynum before the game working out a little bit. I know he is going to go on the road trip, but they said he's not going to play in the regular season. What do you know about that?
I don't know if I think anybody who's reporting that he won't play at all during the regular season would be assuming too much. I don't think he's going to play on this road trip. I do think it's a possibility he might play in the regular season based on how these workouts go. I personally think, Gary, it would be important for him to play a couple of games, even one, before the postseason start. Can you imagine the way Odom played tonight? Gasol with the 25 points, Kobe being Kobe, and Odom with his best game of the year. You add Bynum to that mix, and you've got a 4-headed monster with this Laker team that nobody would want to play. My guess is that he might play a game or 2 before the end of the regular year.
All right, thanks a lot, John. And, of course, the Lakers will be back in Staples, even though it'll be a road game by the end of next week.